When I say abortion is wrong, defenders leap to their feet and demanding to know why I want, for instance, this is a common catch they try to get you on. Why I want to jail a 10-year-old girl who has an abortion after someone rapes her. Well, guess what? I don't. And no defender of no defender of life, no pro-life advocate wants to jail that girl. Nobody does. It is an absurd straw man allegation, but people fall for it over and over and over again. I want to make a subtle distinction for you. And unlike feminists, my audiences are smart enough to enjoy the adventure known as reasoning with logic. And I make this distinction using the tools, by the way, of the Catholic Church, which has been reasoning gracefully since long before the first feminist had a hissy fit. Don't forget, by the way, the original feminists, Mary Wollstonecraft and Susan B. Anthony, denounced abortion too. Now, in principle, the Church teaches the direct, intentional taking of life is wrong. But that's a principle, and even in the most heartbreaking case, including the 10-year-old we're thinking about, it cannot be right to take the innocent life growing inside her, which has done nothing to deserve the death penalty. But as Western civilization has always understood, hard cases make bad law. You'll very often see, particularly in European countries, just desperate to ban anything. You know, if it exists, there must be rules about it. You know, it's like, this is how you can use it. I mean, every time I go back to Europe, there are more rules about everything. It's like, oh, no, you're using that pen wrong. What? No, honestly, this is the French influence. You know, the French are a poison wherever they appear. You know, the French are this sort of cancerous thing in the middle of Europe. You know, most of the worst kinds of philosophy, the stuff that enables, legitimizes, underpins social justice and progressivism, all fucking French philosophers. All this post-structuralist, deconstructionist, relative fucking bullshit. Derrida and Foucault, it's a load of fucking horse shit. All of the worst stuff that underpins all of the worst, craziest visions of the universe, all French. And they collaborated with the Nazis, just saying. The Catholic Church, at least, has long been an enemy of utopianism. And utopianism is the most prominent vice of leftists. They think we should all be perfect immediately. They don't allow for human frailty or imperfection. And if you're not perfect, they throw you out the club. We've seen this with feminists who don't toe the party line on transgender pronouns. In other words, feminists who aren't mental. You know, Germaine Greer being the perfect example. They'll just cast you out of the club. I was cast out at birth, I think, from the gay club. I didn't have my gay card taken away. They never issued me with one because I've got the wrong politics. But this is how they are. Utopianism is a sort of leftist vice. They demand each of us must be perfect immediately according to their own warped vision of perfection. And it's a warped vision you'll find in gender studies classes and sort of Marxist gripe fests. Now here's the relevant distinction. I'm quoting from the Church's angelic doctor, Thomas Aquinas. Human laws do not forbid all vices from which the virtuous abstain, but only the more grievous vices from which it is possible for the majority to abstain. In other words, it's not wise to punish with human law everything that may be opposed to the natural one. That means that I can say it's okay to do something. I can say it's wrong to do something, and it must not necessarily be ruthlessly and rigorously applied in every case. I can say it's wrong to take an innocent life without having to say that we should outlaw abortions in every single case. And almost nobody, in fact, does believe that. In a sane country, we would argue about what cases should be illegal. Should you, for instance, as often happens in non-Christian countries, allow abortions when the parents simply don't want a girl? Happens in China. Happens in the Middle East all the time. Here's one more fact that will help you understand that St. Thomas Aquinas and the Church aren't the killjoy Puritans that your lying professors claim. St. Thomas and before him St. Augustine both followed the anti-utopian view that I've just described when it came to prostitution. They thought it was wrong to do, but foolish to make illegal. I don't think they'd approve of rent boys, so my 20s probably still requires some apologizing for. But it is... I was young when I needed the money. But it is still an amazingly progressive position, given what you would expect to read. Once again, dead white men, much clearer thinkers than your leading lights. Since